on the behalf of these flowers and all the honeybees that are jumping around, pollinating flower to flower. There's a saying, when the flower blooms, the bees come uninvited. And as it turns out, I've also come here to this particular place. I mean, as soon as I saw these flowers, I had to sit down here, so I also came in uninvited. That's what happens when a flower blooms. So on the behalf of these beautiful flowers and on the behalf of the honeybees as well, I'd like to extend my congratulations for anybody who's celebrating Ramadan, the holy Muslim month of Ramadan. And I'd like to talk a little bit about fasting, the power of fasting as well. I myself currently on our, 40, probably 41, 42, no more, 43, 44, something like that, 43, 44 of water fasting. Currently, I'm on hour 44. So, first of all, congratulations to anybody who is observing the month, who's fasting. And for anybody that isn't too accustomed or too familiar with Ramadan, it's a holy month in the Muslim calendar. The Muslim calendar uses a lunar calendar, so it's slightly different than the solar by 11 days. And basically, you restrain from eating and drinking from sunrise to sunset, and you do that for 30 days. And it really is a beautiful tradition, and being in a Muslim country at that time is just magnificent. People are in good spirits. People sometimes just don't work, period. They don't even go to work, and the work hours are really shortened anyway. Like, everybody just maybe, even if they go to work, they'll go to work for 4 hours. So it's a very laid back month, and lots of good vibes. Give me a second. Hey, how you doing? Good.
They're not. They're both friendly, but
Oh, they seem like it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
she'll lick you and jump on you.
Oh, she wants to play?
Yeah.
She wants to play?
Come on, old man.
Very good dogs.
Oh,
Ooh, here's a selfie.
that's you on camera?
She wants to be on camera too.
You're crazy. You know Come on, bud.
I think they like the flowers.
Yeah. They love running in the woods here. He's getting old there, so.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a little slower than this one.
You see, he's very attracted to this area particularly. You see, like
He
this.
could just be staring in space.
Yeah.
That's quite possible.
He's a meditative dog. He
Yeah,
just loves
there
to
you
sit down and meditate, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
Take it all in.
Wow. Cool.
All right, old man. Let's go. Come on, Bruce. Come on. Good boy. Let's go.
Have a good day, huh?
Have a nice day.
Thank you. So, what I was saying, the spirits are really high in a Muslim country. If you go to a Muslim country and you spend Ramadan there, a really, really beautiful time to be in a Muslim country. People are nicer, friendlier. You're supposed to be. It's the holy month, right? And of course, lots of people don't really understand it. Lots of people actually gain weight in Ramadan because they'll reward themselves for not eating from sunrise to sunset, and my goodness, all kinds of absolutely delicious, mouth-watering, delicious sweets and foods are served. And so people usually end up gaining weight, most people. Then of course there are also people who, like my dad for instance, who understand the spiritual significance and they observe it and they eat less and they really go deep within themselves and they really contemplate more, they pray more. I mean, there's, you go to the mosque and there's Taraweeh, which you go pray after the last, there's 5 prayers. After the last prayer, you go pray. It's only in Ramadan, observed in Ramadan, and then the last 10 days you go, at 12 a.m. and you pray. What's the name of it? Taraweeh. Qiyam al-Layl. Yeah, Qiyam al-Layl. So basically you go and pray like after 12 a.m. And some people will stay in the mosque, and some people will actually just stay in the mosque for the last 10 days. It's called i'tikaf, right? They'll stay in the mosque for the last 10 days. Really beautiful vibes. I think at some point, sometime in the near future, believe me, I would like to go to the Haram, Masjid al-Haram, which is the Mecca, right? Mecca. And stay there for the last 10 days of Ramadan. I would love to experience that, because as a kid, I would light up whenever we went to Mecca, right? I would light up because the spiritual, wow, you don't have to be a Muslim, you don't have to be anything. You just go to Mecca, you go to Haram, and my God, you just feel this incredible spiritual vibes, because of course the mass consciousness of the place, a very blessed place. People come here from all over the world to pray, to be humble, to be grateful, to show kindness to one another. So you could imagine that type of place. You don't have to be anything. You just have to be a consciousness, which you are by default. And then one of these days, like to go there in Ramadan, last 10 days, and just spend it in the holy mosque, okay, Haram. So very, very beautiful thing to observe, very beautiful tradition. And let's talk about fasting. Now, why did the Prophet Muhammad, why did he fast? Why did he observe fasting? By the way, he did not only fast from sunrise to sunset in Ramadan, he fasted every Monday and every Thursday as a lifestyle thing. Okay, and he was known to eat little, even when he broke his fast, and even on the days that he didn't fast, he was known to be, eating very little. If you're being nourished off cosmic energy and you're spiritually connected, you don't really need food, period. And this will talk about breatharianism. Of course, this video will have to lead to that. There's no question about it. So the power of fasting. I'm currently almost finished 48-hour fast. It's almost done. Okay, I think I have 3 or 4 more hours. Now this is an open-ended fast. It started off, I didn't even mean it. Okay, it's water fasting. I'm still drinking water. I didn't even, it just happened yesterday. I got around the 24th hour and I was like, I'm feeling a lot of energy here. Why do I need to eat? Because I was really feeling energetic. I was like, okay, hold on. If food is for the body, it's for energy. And I understand that it just gives me this, 5-10 minute pleasure, a mouth pleasure, and then it actually leaves me wanting it more. Hold on. If the purpose of food, the true purpose of food, isn't to give me a little superficial pleasure, because I know there's higher pleasures, believe me, being here around these flowers, with the honeybees, with these beautiful dogs, with the sunlight shining, this is to me, you really think a 10-minute rush from a meal is gonna do that to me? No, I understand. So then I said, hold on. It was 24 hours. I'm, naturally programmed to eat once a day, 24 hours. I'm like, hold on. You're just programmed to eat every 24 hours. But actually, do you need it right now? You're not even hungry. You're actually pretty energetic. And I really was. And I was like, hold on. I want to go for a walk right now. I don't even want to eat. I'm so energetic. I want to go for a walk. Hold on. Why am I eating? So I was like, I started a fast. Okay. I just like, okay. And the funny thing is, up until a few hours before sleeping, I was ready to eat if I felt like I need the energy. But I didn't. So then I was like, 3-4 hours before sleep, usual sleeping time, I was like, I guess you're not eating now then. I guess we'll eat tomorrow. If you wake up in the morning and you feel hungry, eat in the morning. It wasn't planned to be 48 hours or anything like that. I was like, okay, you've only got 3 more hours to go. Sit down. I sat down and watched animal documentaries, which I'll probably do tonight. And yeah, it was like around 11 and I went to bed. I was fine. I was energetic. Actually, I wasn't beat. I wasn't exhausted at all whatsoever. And because now I understand, look, food is not for the pleasure. We have the higher pleasures here. You understand? Food is for the energy. If you need it for energy, eat it. But I've been connecting a lot to spiritual energy lately. I've been meditating 2-3 hours a day, spending lots of time here. Lots of time. I get showers here of bliss, of energy. And of course, bare feet, so the grounding, the release of positive ions, the absorption of negative ions, the balancing of the energies from the earth, the sunlight. So lots of good things happening. And so, I'm like, okay, let's eat tomorrow. I woke up today and taught the kids in the morning, and then I started screaming like a Super Saiyan. I kid you not. I started screaming like a Super Saiyan. I just felt so much energy. Okay, I felt the Kamehameha here. Okay, because when you fast, what happens is the energy rises, the Shakti rises through, the Kundalini energy. Okay, the Shakti, heat loves to rise up. Okay, so the heat rises up. And so I literally felt this Kamehameha, this center of energy rising, and I started screaming, ah! Like I just felt like a Super Saiyan. And I did a bunch of push-ups, and I really went off. And I was like, hold on, I don't need food. Why eat food? And I'm like, all right, let's extend it. So it's still open-ended. It's still open-ended. And I feel incredible right now. It's still open-ended. I might go home later on and eat something. And if I do eat, funny enough, it'll be dates. Okay, and it's funny because I've been attracted to dates lately. I just want to eat dates. That's it. Nothing but dates. And I just remembered that it's Ramadan. Just remembered, like today. Okay? I didn't even know. So it's funny how, because I was born and raised in that region, even though I live all the way in Canada, and even though I'm not a practicing Muslim, or I don't really call myself a Muslim, but it's funny how my energy is still connected to that region, to the traditions, to the foods. I love dates. I grew up eating dates. Okay, I pick them off the trees and eat them, the palm trees. So it's funny that even if I do choose to eat today, or even tomorrow, or whenever the fast ends, it'll be only strictly dates and water, just like they do in Ramadan. Okay, and just like they do in Haram. If you go to Mecca and you stay in the mosque, like a lot of people do for 10 days or even 30 days, all you're eating is dates and water. And it seems that actually that's all I'll be doing for a month, because before I even remembered that it's Ramadan, I actually set an intention that in May I'm only gonna eat dates and drink water. That shows you the energy is connected. Okay, my particular current incarnation with the programs that I'm working with, I was born and raised there. So this is just part of my programming, part of the way it is. So it's funny because I literally will only be eating dates and water for this month. That was my intention. Now the fast is open-ended. It'll have to end at some point, but I don't know when. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, and I'll definitely, once it ends, I'll make a video on it, of course, explaining it in full details, my experience with it, everything else that goes into it. And it could be like a 2-day, could end up being 48 hours, could end up being 72, it could end up being in between 60, it could end up being 5 days, who knows. I'll have to go and see how the energy is, how I'm feeling. And yeah, because I'm looking at food now as energy. You see, it's just for energy. If I need it, if I feel like I need the dense energy of the food, then I'll take it. Right? The spiritual path, the spiritual journey should be that of ease. So I'm fasting now. I'm not fighting it. It's so easy. But why am I saying it's so easy? I've been working, preparing for this for the last 2 months. Okay, because I've been talking about Breatharianism, as you have seen more and more increasingly in these videos, talking about Breatharianism, living off the prana, the energy of the cosmos. So it's not that this is not easy for no reason. I've been meditating 2-3 hours a day, and they go very deep meditations, slowing my breath down. I talked about that in previous video, and doing all these things, taking cold showers, of course, getting sunlight, lots of things. So I've been plugging in, I've been connecting more to all the different sources of energy. And for the Patreons who support us, I'm actually gonna probably sit down here and prepare a nice video, a very detailed video on energy, okay, for the Patreons. So anyway, what I was saying is the fasting. Now, I'm experiencing an easy fast right now, an open-ended, because it's easy, because I don't feel the need, the urge. I don't want to eat. And so because of all these things, let's talk about the power. What happens? The energy rises. Okay, the energy, the Shakti, the heat. You know, this is the creative energy, the feminine energy. You know, Mother Earth is feminine, creation, all of creation is feminine. You have Shiva, which enters through the crown chakra, and then you have Shakti, which rises from the base, from the root chakra, and they meet. And that's mystical union. That's ultimate energy, infinite energy. The union of yin and yang, the union of masculine and feminine. And then you have infinite energy. You go beyond the duality of it, and you have infinite energy, because you are energy and you're infinite. Therefore, you have access to infinite energy if you know how to plug into it. Okay? And there are many breatharians now. You could go look them up on YouTube. They don't eat. They drink water or don't drink water. Eli Tom Elamin, which I talk about also frequently in these videos, he doesn't drink water. He doesn't eat. And he's beaming with energy. And now I understand it, because you could see I'm like looking pretty nice and cute, and I'm beaming with energy and positivity and light. And I could see this. I could see somebody who's well trained into energy, who's well trained into being plugged into cosmic infinite. It's infinite. It literally is abundantly infinite. Infinite energy. And I see Eli Tom Elamin, and I see how he's so buzzing with energy. And I'm like, I want that. That's why I'm so attracted to it. I'm like, I want that energy. So today, for example, like, I can't tell you. The colors are so bright. Like, oh my, it's so bright. It's like, it almost hurts your eyes. And the other thing is, it's funny. You know, I could look at even though this is mid-noon, I could look at the sun. You know, and now the UV rays are very high. I wouldn't be able, it's not a good thing for me to do. I'm going to have to wait and do the sun gazing in the evening. But I'm saying that I'm surprised that I could actually look at it with my eyes open, because even in mid-noon, and so everything, my senses, it's like my body's getting upgraded, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's the only way I can describe it to you. There's an upgrade happening here. And that's why this is an open-ended fast, because I want the upgrade to fully install. And after this fast ends, if it's 48, if it's 72, whatever, I think I'm probably going to start adopting immediately a lifestyle of eating every other day. I don't think I can go back to even eating every day, because the energy is unreal. It's unreal. Everything is so bright. It's so beautiful. Everything's so magnificent. You could go hug a tree and breathe into it 10 breaths, and you have its energy, because you're so sensitive to energy. You're so, wow, it's unbelievable. I can't describe it to you. And I see somebody like Eli Tom he is infinite energy. He's plugged into it. He's mastered it. He's Master Yoda. Effectively, he's Master Yoda. And I say, I want that. That's what I want. I want to be Master Yoda. And so we don't really need to eat dense food. And if you do feel the need to it, you train yourself through, again, plugging into all these different forms of energy. Okay, all these different forms. Like cold shower is energizing. That's a form of energy. That's you're in the sun and the earth and the flowers, and it's all forms of energy. I mean, beauty. You know, I beheld a really, really beautiful view of the trees and the clouds today, and I just felt, I was like, wow. That's my only reaction, and I just felt this unbelievable energy rise up in my body. Again, just beholding something beautiful. So you start to see that it's all energy, and everything is energy. And you could have energy without eating. And you could have because it's infinite, there's an infinite amount of it. Because you are energy, you are infinity. Therefore, you train yourself, and eventually you're able to access this all the time. Okay, so you've got these master yogis in India who don't need food and don't need water. It's a minor city. It isn't even a major city, okay? Cities are powers, spiritual powers you gain as you develop yourself further along the spiritual path. And one of the minor powers, minor cities, is your loss of hunger and thirst. Okay, so it's a minor city. In India, amongst the yogis, this is not considered something big. If you were going in like a bragging contest amongst yogis, and a yogi came and said, by the way, I can't eat, and I don't need to eat, and I don't need to drink, they'd be like, come on, bro. It's a minor city. Come on. But of course, yogis don't have that, because once you get to that, you go beyond ego. But I'm saying, if there was, okay, they're like, come on, bro, like, show me something more here. Okay, show me something more. It's not even a big deal, and I see why now. The energy that I'm experiencing from this fast so far, I could see why. Of course, mind you, I'm not anywhere plugged into the energy as much. I don't plan on this, like I always said, will take me years before I could fully get into it. But I see it now. I see the potential. Just the brightness of the colors of these flowers right now. The clarity that I'm feeling in my mind, the clarity of my vision, the clarity of my sight, the positivity that I'm feeling, the love that I'm feeling towards all sentient beings. I could see the power of this. And so fasting, it really is, I can't even, I mean, Jesus went to the desert, he fasted for 40 days. Again, Muslims fast. The Prophet Muhammad, he prescribed as a necessary thing, as part of the 5 pillars of Islam, that if you want to call yourself a Muslim, you have to do it, is you have to fast in Ramadan. That's the 4th pillar. Because the higher and higher up the spiritual ladder you go, you realize, first of all, you don't even need food. And I have a feeling, though, even though you could say, Prophet Muhammad and Buddha and all these people still ate, I have a feeling they were doing it just to be hip, because they didn't want to be looked at as too eccentric, because they wanted to relate to the people, because they understand that these people are at a much lower consciousness. And so by breaking a meal with them, by Buddha breaking a meal with someone, by Muhammad breaking a meal with someone, I can understand why they ate, even though they obviously didn't need to, and they knew they didn't need to, because they wanted to stay hip to the scene. They didn't want to, imagine, you're sitting down and all your disciples and all the people, they're eating and you're not eating, right? So I have a feeling Muhammad didn't even need to eat. None of them even needed to eat, but they come back and they eat. Jesus would break bread with his disciples also, just because they wanted to share this moment, because they understood that at that lower level, people still need to eat. And so I'm gonna eat as well, okay? But really, you don't really need to eat food, and your senses just become, my God, unbelievably enhanced. And this is the higher pleasures we're talking about here, okay? These are the benefits. I always say this line: you're giving up the little candy bar for the big candy bar later, but you need to discipline yourself. You need to connect yourself. This fast so far is easy just because I have been connecting. And when I feel that it's difficult, when I feel like I'm no longer harmonious with it, I will break it. As simple as that. Because this is how the spiritual path should be. Little baby steps. You want everything to be easy, smooth. Forget that no pain, no gain. Okay? That doesn't apply in the spiritual path. You want to be having pleasure and joy and ecstasy every single part of it. 3 days ago, I got a peanut butter jar and I ate the whole thing. I ate it because I felt like it. I was having a low energy day and I wanted something to bring me up, and I really craved peanut butter, and I sat down, and then the entire jar in the same day, I ate it all. I had fun. I had my fun there. Okay, it should be fun every step of the process, and everything should happen so effortlessly and easy. And so it isn't about not eating, it's about plugging into subtler forms of energy which give you more energy. Okay, more energy. Nuclear power gives you more energy than atomic power. Solar energy gives you more energy than fossil fuels. The foods we eat are fossil fuels. Solar energy gives you more. Solar panels, and it's sustainable, and it's infinite also, because the sun keeps coming up. It's not going away. So if you live in a sunny climate, and you could power the entire society by solar, and it's for free. It's in abundant. It's infinite until the sun dies, which is another, I don't know how many billion years. So in that sense, it's infinite. And you're giving up fossil fuels because they're inefficient, they're harmful to the environment, and they slow you down, and there's a lot of cost. And they just make you feel tired and exhausted. In the same way, foods are so the process of digestion is the process of consuming fossil fuels, and there is a price for it: more sleep, less clarity, and more disease, etc. You understand? So fasting is it really is a powerful, powerful, powerful thing. It really is powerful, and so the best way I could describe it to you before I end this video, it's like being permanently high on psychedelics. Wouldn't you guys like that? This is I mean, that's the beautiful thing about psychedelics, is you experience these higher states, and then you say, how can I get there, and how can I be there permanently? In Breatharianism, living off the prana, the energy, is being permanently high on psychedelics. How amazing is that? How amazing is that, guys? I know a lot of you have tried psychedelics, and so you understand what I'm saying. Take the psychedelic experience of pure bliss and ecstasy and joy, and unconditional love and unconditional positivity. And that's how it would feel like if you were able to wean yourself off of eating, allowing the Shakti to rise to meet Shiva, mystical in union, infinite energy, abundant, totally self-sustained being, because you are a self-sustained being. You are Brahman, the creator of all of this. You are infinity. You are energy. You are infinity. And it is that. You are the light, and you're powering everything. Everything is just different forms of energy, denser forms, just all manifestations of light. Okay, everything is light energy ultimately. And so imagine being high on psychedelics all the time. How amazing is that? Because I feel I'm pretty high on psychedelics right now, just from fasting. Okay, but I want to emphasize, it isn't about not eating. It's about plugging into different energies, higher energies, more subtler energies, until you get all the way to infinity. And that you get through meditation. Okay? And wouldn't that be amazing? You would need less sleep too. Like, I slept 6 hours last night. I didn't need any more. And I've been cleaning up my body so much, eating once a day, eating, fruits only, and peanut butter also, but mostly fruits. So because of it, I'm not experiencing like the detox symptoms that are known with fasting, which I experienced when I did a 3-day fast last summer. My body was so toxic. I wasn't ready for it. It was a miserable experience. It was a miserable 3-day fast. I completely stayed away from fasting more than a day after that because of the negative experience that I had, because I was experiencing massive detox symptoms. But I've been preparing for this so much that it feels so easy. I'm not experiencing these detox symptoms. Keep in mind that also. Okay? Keep that in mind. That you've got to clean up the temple first, and you do that through 1-day fasts and eating less and eating the right foods. Alkaline foods and just lighter foods, let's say. Lighter than, more, how can I say, closer to the light. Fruits are the closest form of food to the light and the most electrical. So you clean yourself up before you do that. You clean up the temple. Otherwise, you're not gonna have energy. Believe me, it's gonna be if you do anything more than a day, it's gonna be the most miserable 2 or 3 days you've ever done, or 5 days if you go on 5 days. They're gonna be miserable days, my friend, because your body is so toxic. You've got to clean it up. I remember in the last summer, my body was so toxic that those were miserable 3 days. Hated them. I just like fuck fasting. Yeah, I'm not gonna do fasting anymore. This was miserable. Why are people ranting about it so much, saying energy? But the people that are ranting about it, they've cleaned up their temple so much that when they actually fast and they're plugged into all this energy, they experience the effects that I'm experiencing right now, that I'm feeding right now as I'm making this video. So yeah, I'd like to once again I'd like to extend my appreciation for the tradition of the holy month of Ramadan, and say Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Mubarak to all the people observing it, wherever they may be. And I guess even though I'm not observing it the way it is traditionally observed, but I will be. This looks to be, because I think I can't go back now. I think in the sense, what I mean by I can't go back, I think I can't go back to eating once a day after experiencing what I'm experiencing. I just can't do it. I can't afford to. I think I'll be eating every other day probably. I just can't afford to anymore. And so I guess I will be doing a lot of fasting with you guys, with the people who are observing it. except for I think this is going to be a lifestyle now, and I've really been waiting for the weather to turn up. I sort of grown in my understanding, still growing, still learning of what energy is, how to access it and everything. And I understand that you need to be in a good climate. You really do need to be in a good, and so, you know, the weather is turning up now here. It's May, and I'm moving to Thailand. So basically you have to keep in mind, my life is a retreat now. I run my life like an ashram, okay, literally like an ashram. I teach the children in the morning, and then I have my rituals like an ashram. Okay, this time we're gonna do hatha yoga, this time we're gonna meditate, this time we're gonna be in nature, this time we're gonna do this time we're gonna do that. I literally ran it like an ashram, very low stress, and I mean, I'm dedicated for the spiritual development. And if you run it like that, there's no doubt that fasting will eventually come naturally to you, not eating, because you won't need to. It is as simple as that. It isn't because you're trying to restrain yourself or be a badass. Trust me, I don't feel like a badass for doing this. I don't feel like this is something special. I feel like if everybody learned who they are and connected to cosmic energy and started to connect to all these different sources of energy, it'd be a whole different world. Yeah, it would just be happy people, very happy people all around. Be like the Sat Yuga, the Age of Enlightenment. And yeah, that's about it. I want to thank all the lovely Patreons, the beautiful Patreons, for supporting this. We've got a few more family members as of late, and I'm really super grateful. And I will be making a detailed video for you guys, the Patreons, on energy. Okay, I'm really preparing it. So, you know, yeah, I'll be making that. I want to really thank you. If you'd like to become part of the family, pledge your support for this channel. I'd love to do this full time at some point, and I know we will. I know I will. There's a lot of generous people out there. I know a lot of you guys are just lazy to pledge, but eventually will. I mean, you could do just something as little as $2 a month. Okay? Really appreciate it. It would help me at some point do this full time, and it won't take too much to do this full time. You know, the money we need to raise, I mean, I'm a pretty minimalistic fella as is, right? So it wouldn't take very much. And with the support of the generous, beautiful Patreons, I believe we could do it. And Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Mubarak to everyone. And that's about it. Until next time, may the force be with you.